The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 11 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships, offering Buick GMC, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, and the resale division, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Penfield, Fairport, Canandaigua, Ontario, and Palmyra, and online at visionauto.com. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Every week at this time, we take a comprehensive look at sports in Section 5 in Monroe County and begin with our honor roll of high school teams. At number 3 this week, the Brighton girls lacrosse team. It's a regular on this list, 16-0 regular season, top seeds in Class B. The Barons beat Churchville. Katie Smolensky had 4 goals in that one. Katie Liederman scored twice to beat Spencerport. And number 2, School of the Arts softball. The Silverhawks ran the table in the RCAC this year, 12-0 to land the top seed in Class A2 of sectionals. And at number 1, the Franklin baseball team. The Quakers stunned East 9-8 in the RCAC final to claim the league title and then won their first sectional game, Franklin's 9th straight victory. Which takes us to Oak Hill Country Club, an old number 5, to find the Pittsford-Sutherland golf team. If you gauge the quality of a golf program by the number of players in the state tournament, which is a fair assessment, consider this. Section 5 will send 9 players to Cornell to compete for state honors this week. Of those 9, 4, including the best of the bunch, hail from Pittsford-Sutherland.
We've got 5 guys out here that can easily break 80, and so I just try to go as low as I can, but I know that everyone on my team can play equally as well, and I know they got my back.
Danny Giannini's back doesn't need much getting. He's having a great spring. Danny capped his last hole victory at the Tournament of Champions at the Deerfield Country Club with a dominant 8-shot win at sectionals played at Oak Hill, where the team sometimes practices at the abandoned 5th hole just off Kilbourne. Winning sectionals is in the Giannini family. Danny's older brother Jack, now at Delaware, claimed the crown in 2014.
He sent me a text after the TOC one. He was really excited for me. He never won that one, but he had a run a couple years ago where he won sectionals, super sectionals in the state. So hoping I can follow in his footsteps and keep going.
While Giannini is the headliner, the Knights have a deep field of quality golfers, boosted by the return of Jack O'Donovan. Jack spent the last 2 years honing his golf game, playing year-round while attending school in Florida, something he is glad he did.
Do you like to celebrate? The golfers are all down south, so to go down south, not even just to work on my game, but just to play with great players every day, I mean, it helps you a lot.
Jack came back for his senior year at Sutherland, which was spent battling Giannini for honors on his own team. Through 17 9-hole matches, the two were statistically separated by a half stroke.
They're paired together almost exclusively, for most of those matches, especially our league matches. So when the match really counts, those two guys are going out together, and they've grown up together. They've been together a long time, playing the sport. So to have them go out and produce is a lot of fun to watch. They do play very well off of each other, and I think it got a little bit competitive for them this year. It was good.
We've been going back and forth this whole year, but yeah, it's great playing with a real competitor every day. It makes you better, it makes you motivated.
Having 4 playing at state championship level benefits everyone on the team, even those who don't.
It really helps because these guys they're so good. It's like if I shoot bad round, I can always count on these guys to have my back, Like they're so good, it doesn't really matter.
It all adds up to a potentially memorable golf season at Sutherland, memorable and short.
What very quickly, the 5 weeks of matches that we had, it went by so fast, and here we are in our postseason, trying to get right for individual and team sectionals. But I feel like my team is probably more prepared than that they have been in the past, even with the amount of cold and wet weather that we've had.
Coming up, Rush Henrietta softball coach Lynn Rottola joins us in the Dunkin' Donuts Coach's Corner. And later on, the great 1-2 punch in Section 5 track when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Make it iced, then make it happen. With flavors like butter pecan or the new coconut cream pie, it's America's iced coffee, whenever, wherever. America runs on Dunkin'. Welcome back to the Vision High School Sports Beat. It is time once again now for our Dunkin' Donuts Coach's Corner and our guest, Lynn Rottola, the Rush Henrietta softball coach. Lynn, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
First off, and my bias is that I don't think there's enough of them. We don't talk to an awful lot of female coaches in Section 5. What are the challenges involved with being a woman and coaching at a high school?
I think the demands of coaching at a varsity level, it definitely is a 24/7, 12 months, 365 days a year commitment. And I think for a lot of women, they have families and they feel the pull of, am I giving enough to my family? Am I giving enough to my team? And there's just not enough time in the day to really maybe do the best they can by both. So something has to fall by the wayside, and certainly it would be a sport over your family.
Yeah, but
sure.
I feel like you're losing out. Both the athletes are kind of losing out, and I think the would-be coach is losing out by not being able to pull this off.
That may be true, but again, family definitely comes first, and I think for females, it's harder for us to make that decision to do both, because you do feel that pull back to your family, and you want to be with your family, and you want to be there for their kids. And not that the men don't want to be, but there might be some more socially acceptable, my husband's a coach, kind of thing, whereas there aren't too many. My best friend's a coach, and she's fortunate to have a husband who he calls himself a single parent during her season, because she isn't around much, but she's fortunate that way. I don't know if other people have that opportunity.
What do you get most out of it?
Coaching?
What do you get most out of being involved with all this?
I love seeing my kids start from one point and finishing at another point. And I think for my experience, it's great for them to have that aha moment, like, oh my gosh, I finally got this. Or we do a lot of things outside of softball. I try to give them a lot of different opportunities to try new things. And for me, that's exciting, when they can say, hey, we did this and that was fun. And, in 10 years when they come back, they might not have a memory of a softball memory, but they remember the time that they spent with their teammates and all the fun things that we did. And they might not know our record.
What's the best of them? If you do these things, what's like your favorite?
Gosh, there's so many. I couldn't choose one. We're fortunate that we go away every spring break, so there's been a lot of great memories for spring break. We've gone curling as a team.
Nice.
That was kind of a fan favorite last year. We just did a ropes course and we did painting. We got locked in a room together and tried to get out. So we've done lots of great things as a team over my course of the year of
in
coaching.
terms of aha moments too. I mean, this team has developed to the point where you're a sectional contender this year. There have been a lot of those, haven't there?
A lot of
aha moments.
Yeah, I think with this group, I have a nucleus of kids who have been together since they were in 7th and 8th grade, and we've been fortunate to carry them through. And then along the way, we've added other key components. So for them to actually be where they're at right now is really nice, because I think they can start seeing that their hard work and the effort that they've put in is starting to pay off. And they know they're not quite there yet, and they're still working really hard to get to where they want to be by the end of the season.
What do you have to do to clear that hurdle? I mean, the difference between being, a contender and good and great and a champion.
I think a lot of it is confidence, and I think a lot of it is them believing that they can do it. I think you have to get through, every team has tough times during the season, and I think that for a team to get through those, that's important as well, so that they know that, like, hey, we can really do this no matter who's there doing what, or whether it's 35 degrees out or 95 degrees out, like it often is when softball. You get such extremes, and so it's fun. It's a fun journey.
Yeah. Well, good luck on that journey. And Lynn Rotolo, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Lynn Rotolo, the head coach at Rush Henrietta Softball, our guest on the Dunkin' Donuts Coach's Corner. Coming up, we salute our Wegmans Making the Grade nominee with Kim, and later the Rush Henrietta Rock Stars when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for Making the Grade, brought to you by Wegmans. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field.
Making the grade this week is Fairport junior Ben Bulkeely. Ben was an all-Greater Rochester selection for boys indoor and outdoor track and field in 2016. He was named Runner of the Year by the DNC as a first-team AGR honoree. He also runs cross-country in the fall. He's become a leader among a Section 5 champion track team and runs multiple races for the Red Raiders. Ben holds the fastest 1,000-meter time and set a Section 5 record in the 800 as well. He earned another first-place victory as a state champion with the Fairport relay team as the 3,200 relay anchor. Besides what he does on the track, Ben is also a member of the National Honor Society and Spanish National Honor Society. He's an outstanding student as he holds a 94 average in school. Ben is also an active member of his community with his work through the Boy Scouts. For his exceptional work on the track and in the classroom, this week Ben Bulkeely is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. You can send them into info@classywolf.com. Now here's Bill with the Fidelis Care Section 5 calendar.
Fidelis Care offers quality, affordable health coverage for children and adults of all ages at all stages of life. Quality health coverage. That's our mission. Call 1-888-FIDELIS or visit fideliscare.org. Here's a look at the week ahead. Win and advance sectional championship lacrosse this week. For the boys, doubleheaders at St. John Fisher College. On Tuesday, the Class C finals featuring HFL presumably at 5 o'clock, followed by the Class A championship game with Pittsford as the top seed. That's at 7:30. On the girls' side, at Pittsford Sutherland. On Tuesday, it's the D final at 5, followed by Class B at 7. Track and field Friday. Penfield hosts the state qualifiers, begins at 4:45. And we finish up with the tennis players. The state championship tournament is at the National Tennis Center in Flushing. Get out and see something. That's the Fidelis Care Section 5 calendar for the week ahead. Coming up, the end of an era approaches at Rush Henrietta when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues. Sign Impressions is more than just signs. It's a total graphics company. Embroidery, screen printing, team apparel, t-shirts, jackets, hats, and of course banners and signs. Visit signimpressions.com. Call us at 723-0420 to order your team or corporate apparel. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bill Pucko. This is the Vision High School Sports Beat. Our Honor Roll of High School Athletes is brought to you by the Injury-Free Coalition for Kids. The Injury-Free Coalition for Kids of Rochester and the Smart Teen Driving Program, funded by the Allstate Foundation, encourages teens to pay attention, not get distracted, and to drive safely. Here's our honor roll of high school athletes. Lord Sharp of Brighton, she is a pole vaulter. She set a new school record in that event. In a dual meet against Canandaigua, Sharp flew to 10 feet 8 inches. And number 2, Connor Wagner, a tennis player at Wilson. Wagner finished 3rd in the state qualifiers, which means that he's going to states. He's the first tennis player representing a city school at states in 30 years. And at number 1, the speed half of the dynamic track duo at Rush Henrietta, Lene Tava-Thomas broke 3 Section 5 records in the 100, the 200, and the long jump at the county meet last Saturday at Brockport. That's a career in one day. And now Sticky Lips Barbecue presents our Athlete of the Week. Is your school looking to raise money? Sticky Lips Barbecue has you covered. Check out our community barbecue fundraisers. Sticky Lips quality is an easy sell. Visit StickyLipsBBQ.com for more details. An era is coming to an end at Rush Henrietta, where the aforementioned Lene Tava-Thomas and Sammy Watson are winding down their final season together as perhaps the best 1-2 track and field punch this area has ever seen. This is what history looks, sounds, and feels like.
The official time, 2:05.
The amazing Sammy Watson, in front of her home crowd at the Rush Henrietta Invitational, runs the fastest 800 meters recorded by a high school girl anywhere this year. What was it like coming down towards the finish line?
Yeah, it was really motivating. Like all the cheers and the screams, it really helps finish because I don't know, it felt good to be noticed and cheered on.
Watson is so consistently amazing that we take her for granted. Do you run every race with the idea of trying to post a record?
I remember the idea of like trying my best and never being too relaxed, because as soon as you start getting comfortable, that's when you have a bad time or a bad race.
Sammy owns a Section 5 record in the 400, 800, and 1500 meter events, and a relay outdoors, adds records in 5 events indoors plus 2 more relays, and you get an idea how impactful Watson has been over her 6 years as a varsity runner.
I came in just trying to run with my sister because she was 2 years older. She was a freshman, and I just wanted to do what she did and have fun with her and run a couple relays with her. So having her there gave me the positive energy that I needed to do well. And even when I did beat her, it was still like, good job, like I love you still. So I don't know, I came in just trying to have fun with her.
Watson will continue to pursue her track and field career at Texas A&M next year. That decision, reached last week, freed Sammy to enjoy her last few weeks of high school competition worry-free.
It's really relieving, and this past week I've really been able to enjoy just being with the team and enjoying like our last days and weeks together.
Watson's graduation will break up one of the greatest 1-2 athletic punches in Section 5 history. Because if anyone posed a challenge to Sammy as a record book wrecker, it was her teammate of 4 years, junior Lene Tava-Thomas. At the Monroe County meet in Brockport, Thomas posted new Section 5 bests in the 100, the 200, and the long jump. An unprecedented display of excellence.
I'm very proud because I love track and I wanted to build a name for track. So now that we got the chance to do that and just like bring everyone together for track, then it's very fun.
Thomas burst onto the scene as an 8th grader, unknown, having just relocated from Jamaica.
Jeff Carpenter, one of the middle school teachers, called me and said, "Hey, I've got this girl. I think she can help you out." She came up, and I don't normally like bringing middle school kids up, but it was like a no-brainer once I saw her start doing stuff.
You find Thomas in the Section 5 record books, indoor and outdoor, a total of 12 times. So between them, Lene and Sammy own 23 Section 5 track and field records. Not too shabby.
We were both behind the scenes during our early times. She was behind Cece, I was behind Katara Burrows. It was like, we knew that we were good, but we didn't think we were going to be as good as we are now. So now it's just we built together. We built like a track empire.
Since Watson arrived at Rush Henrietta High School, the track team has won 11 of 12 sectional championships, losing just once to Penfield in 2012 by a single point. Come next year, Thomas will have the spotlight all to herself.
Really, it's not about spotlight, but I have thought of it. I mean, she's doing excellent, so she's going to Texas A&M. She's figuring out her major. She has her life set, so I'm just gonna try to do the same here and just build off what we left undone.
The New York State Track and Field Championships are Friday and Saturday, June the 9th and 10th. We'd like to thank our sponsors, especially the 11 dealerships of the Vision Automotive Group. They make the Sports Beat possible. As do you, thanks once again for watching. We'll see you next week with the Vision High School Sports Beat.